Okay. Well, let me get downstairs.
They bought on DPS
Hey, have fun doing DC Universe. Okay, well, I am going to my room. Oh, mine's darkness. Darkness. Okay, let me start being silly. Alright, the reason why I'm making this video is to talk about a game. Well, not just talk about a game, but also talk about a mindset. Alright, so let me get something out of the way. Alright. You know, I never know where to start with these things. Maybe I should start making a script like, you know, YouTubers who actually are skilled and well known. I don't feel like doing that right now. Anyway, so I am a big fan of the Earth Defense Force series now. For the past few years, I've been a big fan of Earth Defense Force. I had first one I played was Insect Armageddon. With was it Strike Force Lightning? Was it? You know, with the dude who did the voice of Spike Spiegel. I know that was him. That has to be him, man. Just has to be. Moving on. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because people, I hate that the fact that people who obviously never play a game for the story will comment on games that actually do have a story and say that they don't. Like, okay, Earth Defense Force is now what is it? The Shadow of New Despair. Something like 4.1, 4 point something. I can't remember exactly because I haven't played it in a little bit. But Shadow of New Despair. Okay. Now, I played that before it became a Shadow of New Despair. I played through the entire story mission. All right. Now, every time I see people play it, I see, you know, they're talking over the stuff that's going on in the background and everything and whatnot. You know, I honestly think some of them turn up the, you know, the actual combat and everything like that, and turn down what's all the story stuff that's going on in the background. Whenever, I mean, like even video game reviewers do this. Whenever people talk about the game, they'll say it's just like, you know, like supposed to be like a cheesy old movie, really campy or whatever, and you know, it doesn't have a serious backstory and all of that, so on and so forth, blah blah blah. And you know, considering the fact that it's supposed to be humanity fighting against giant ants and so on and so forth, I can kind of understand where they're coming from with that. But the game is more serious than people think, or people care to think. You know, this is a perfect example of the generation of idiot gamers that really don't care about the games they're playing. Like, they really don't care at all. You know, it's just like, oh, so I'm supposed to be killing bugs and destroying stuff. You know, well, as long as that's what I have to do in a mission, and I don't really have to, like, you know, think through any situations other than, you know, maybe have to figure out how to kill stuff without getting myself destroyed in the process. I don't care about what's going on in the story. That's really all it is to people. They couldn't care less about the story. Now, like, for example, like Maximilian Dude, the guy, I go to his channel all the time. I'm really, you know, like a big fan of his. And he's been playing Sword Strangers. Now, I can understand that he skipped through a lot of that dialogue, because that dialogue, while he was skimming through it, that dialogue was still going on for a while, you know. But it kind of threw me that he started skipping through it that quickly. It did, you know. And I wouldn't take him as a type of guy to skip dialogue like that. I thought he would have more respect for the dialogue of a video game. But I guess, you know, maybe fighting games, the stories don't really matter in the long run or something like that. I don't really play fighting games. Not like the ones that he plays. Because I suck at them. I suck horribly at them. But like Earth Defense Force, EDF4 or EDF4 point whatever, you know, it actually has a story. It actually has stuff going on in the background, you know. You actually hear like what's happening in the war through the entire game. And like, I mean, like, serious. The reason why and it completely explains why they changed the title to 4.1, The Shadow of New Despair. Because if you listen to what's going on, it's obvious, excuse me, that Earth is completely screwed. Like, really. Every time we have something positive happen in the story, the Ravagers or whatever they call them, they come up with something completely new. Not only that, they'll come up with like 2 other things that are completely new too, and throw them all at you at once. You know, so it's like every time you have a glimmer of hope, it is completely stomped out. And then after it's stomped out, they piss on it too. You know, it's just like, really, they do such a great job. If you actually listen to what's going on, you'll hear, you know, they'll be like talking about how they're attacking the different motherships as they come into the atmosphere. Maybe 1 or 2 of them get destroyed. And as soon as that happens, you know, they're like, oh, cool, okay, we can take these things out. Once they feel somewhat comfortable in the fact that they can actually do some damage, suddenly they put up shields and they can't do anything to these things. None of their weapons work. All right, through the entire mission, you just hear, oh, attack, failed, attack, failed, attack, failed. Now they're deploying ships. Now they're doing this. Uh-oh, there's some ships landing in your area too. And like, it's crazy seeing how devastated the planet becomes. I mean, like, all the stuff that's going on. You're going through shopping malls. There's ant tunnels in shopping malls. It means that at some point in time, that when that shopping mall was running, ants and giant insects broke into the shopping mall and just started killing people. The shopping mall is completely empty when you get there. But if you think about it, man, that means that hundreds of people died when them ants and stuff first showed up in there. Because it's a shopping mall. People, there's always a ton of people in shopping malls, especially during times when there's a crisis. People want to go and get extra water, go out and get whatever stuff they need at the last minute. So the people saying that this game is like it doesn't have a story, it doesn't have interesting characters. To be honest, it really like the main characters are Storm Team in EDF4. Hit me. And then they have like Zero Team, which only shows up like twice in the entire game. And they show up like once with their lasers, and then the second time they show up is like on the last stage, and they show up with their lasers again and start wrecking everything. But like, as you're going throughout the game, the only people who seem to be making any progress is Storm Team. It's like the only group that seems to be making any progress is Storm Team. Whenever something really bad happens, they call in Storm Team. And Storm Team has to clean up the situation or try to give us another few more days to live. Something like that, you know. Oh, we got this huge offensive that's coming after us. They're sending in robots. They're sending in insects. They're sending in flying drones. They're sending in shield bearers. They're sending in like everything that they have, you know. And Storm Team has to fend it off. You know, all of your troops and stuff on your team, they get totally obliterated after, like, well, depending on the difficulty you're on, it might take them maybe like a minute or two, but eventually it's just you versus hundreds of enemies. Well, whatever two weapons you have with you at the time, you know. And like, as the story progresses, you start hearing over the comms, you know, this secret base has been destroyed. Secret blah 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 base number. This is now the new headquarters. That secret base has been destroyed. This is the new headquarters. You know, girl's trying to stay calm, and all of a sudden she starts screaming over the intercom. She can't take it anymore. She doesn't want to die, and like she's freaking out, man. And like everybody just starts going off and going crazy and stuff, man. People are losing it because everything is going to hell. Everything is going wrong. Everything that can go wrong starts to go wrong. Cities are destroyed. The population of the planet has dropped dramatically. It's like 70% of the population of the world is gone. All right, stuff like that. You know, and like, it's so funny that it's just that people completely ignore the dialogue in the game. They completely ignore it, and they make it so easy for you to get this dialogue in the game. You don't have to read anything. You don't have to sit through a cutscene. You can play the fight and everything like that. Just listen to what's going on around you. That's all you got to do. The entire story is built into the mission. So all you have to do is maybe turn up the voices a little bit and just listen to what's happening in the world. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to read anything. You don't have to sit there and watch anything. You can go straight into the gameplay and get the entire story while you're fighting in the game. And it kills me that they make it so easy for you to get what's going on in the game, and yet people still don't know what the hell is going on in the game. It's like if they're forced to read it, they skip it. The only time they might watch it, they might know what's going on in the story is if it's a cutscene, and it has to be voice acted well, it has to be animated well, it has to be freaking perfect for people to give a darn about what's going on in the story. It really pisses me off. That's like stuff like this makes me not want to be an artist anymore, because it's like people don't care about your work. People don't care. You know, they're like, oh my goodness, all these new cinematics, they're like movies and everything like that. And once people start thinking like that, you can't do anything less. You cannot. Because if you do, they're going to treat it like it's absolute trash and they're going to ignore it. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm just a sketch artist. But I've always wanted to go into 3D animation and stuff. But seeing how people treat games and treat the stuff the hard work that people put into these things, you know, and how they will bend from what they know people like, try to be flexible, man. Because you can't put crazy good cinematics in every game. The people don't have budgets for that stuff, man. They can't do it. So they try to be flexible. They try to work with what they have and give you the best that they can give you. Hey, man, we don't have great graphics, but we do have cinematics that are voiced. Oh, man, the graphics are horrible. I don't want the dude don't even look. Did you see that attack? That looks so lame. You know, and that's what people do. If it looks bad or if the voice acting is off a little bit, they will talk over everything and they won't know what's going on. Earth Defense Force has a story. It does have a story. People say it's cheesy and it's lame. I think it's really freaking heartbreaking, to be honest. You know, you hear all the stuff that's going on and you hear all the efforts they're making. All the efforts they're making. It totally gets destroyed. That's why they call it the Shadow of New Despair.